One of the things that it was really important for me in my journey, let me just go ahead and mute everybody here. There we go. All right, so everybody is now muted. One of the things that's really important for me in my nursing career was to bring solutions to my patients that they could control themselves. Because many times, as I saw through the medical field when I was in that for so many years, is that, you come to the doctor with a problem and they are looking for a drug or a surgery or something to cure it. And many times we don't, if nothing comes up on a blood test or if nothing comes up in a test result, then we're kind of stuck to go, yeah, well, we don't know what's wrong with your symptoms and just good luck. Or if we don't want to do what the physicians are saying with medications and different, because of different side effects and whatnot, we're not taught to do anything natural about that, or what can we do on our own? And the other thing is if you are in a position where you are on different medications or you're seeking out medical care, which absolutely not telling you not to do that, but what can you do to give yourself the best chance to decrease side effects of your medication, or long-term potentially going off of those if you can, with your doctor's advice, of course. But so I hope to share some of that information with you guys tonight as we talk about heart health and essential oils and CBD. And let me just get this over here. There we go. All right. So like I said, when we were talking about heart disease, and I'm going to give you guys some solutions tonight, really we want to start about where we want to start is talking about how we got here in the first place, and really the epidemic of what is going on with heart disease. And I'm going to stop my video here real quick. So the main thing, you guys, is that the statistics are really scary, and I'm sure that you're probably aware of these, but it's out of 2 people that will die of heart disease. And it's actually the #1 killer for females right now. So 25% of children 5 years and up already have plaquing of the arteries. You guys, this was in the US News and World Report. 60% of 15 to 19-year-olds had plaque building up in their coronary artery, which obviously that supplies the heart. So these are real statistics. And actually the statistics are a couple years old, because I've been doing this talk for a few years. So these stats are a huge issue. And so what is causing all of these scary statistics that are worse than cancer that's going on out there? So we're going to talk about what those causes are. So again, when we are looking at prevention, that is the key here. We want to prevent heart disease. We don't want to just wait until we have a heart attack or something that happens to then go, oh, I didn't have any idea. Like I need to really start working on this. Let's talk about prevention, because you just saw the stats. It's happening in our children. And if we don't learn ourselves and teach our children and to have them teach their children, there's no way that we're going to be able to turn these scary statistics around. So the term heart disease often is used interchangeably with cardiovascular disease, a term that generally refers to conditions involving the narrowing or the blocking of the vessels that lead to heart attacks or chest pain or even stroke. But you can have other heart conditions too, such as infections, other things that can affect the heart muscles, problems with the valves. There's a lot of different ways that we can categorize heart disease, but it's really a big umbrella. And so again, I am not in a position, I am a nurse, I am not a physician. I am not here to tell you to stop your medication, to not go to see your doctor. This is just for information only, and I hope that I shed light on some areas that you guys take it upon yourselves to do your own research. Talk to your physicians about these things. If you see a natural health care provider, start talking to them about different ways to approach your health if that's what you want to do. So that is my disclaimer. Again, I am not here to treat, diagnose, cure, prescribe anything. This is for information purposes only. CBD, I cannot say, or essential oils are not drugs. They cannot treat diseases. Again, this is for educational purposes only. There, I said that. But I saw this cartoon and I thought it was really funny and not so funny, because it's true. When you go to the doctor and all of a sudden, there's nothing's wrong, they say, we don't need to see you anymore, right? So this cartoon is, you've got a rare condition called good health, and we're not really sure how to treat that, because that's not the way that the medical model is. And it's not to their fault. I mean, that's just the way it is. They are there to diagnose a situation and then treat it with a drug or surgery or whatnot. That's their job. But again, many times they're not looking at the underlying causes of disease in the first place. And that's what I'm really passionate about, is teaching people what's causing this. Because if we don't get to the cause, you guys, then we're never going to get better. We're going to be searching for that next product or seizure, whatever that next product is or drug, to fix the problem, when we really need to start looking at what's causing it in the first place. So let's talk about some myth busters when it comes to heart disease and cardiovascular health and cholesterol. So one of the myths here, heart disease and cancer are normal with aging. And you guys, there is nothing further from the truth. The truth is heart disease and cancer are common in Canada and the US, but they're absolutely not normal. So heart disease is in my family history, so why bother? My dad has it, my grandpa had it, my mom has it, whatever. So, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Or I always giggle when I hear somebody say this too. Well, you got to die of something, right? Well, sure, yeah, we die of something, but how about let's start working on dying of old age. Let's work on spending our retirement in enjoying life and enjoying our grandkids and traveling and do the things that we love, instead of jumping from doctor to doctor or hospital to hospital or shopping from nursing home to nursing home. We want to be able to enjoy life the way that our bodies were intended and do the best we can. So heart disease in my family history, so why bother, right? But the truth is, there's been plenty of studies that show that other people that have the same genes that Americans have actually zero heart disease. So if you do any of the studies on the history of different cultures, I encourage you guys just to check out the Okinawans. And they have that same high risk, low risk genes as Americans. And the Okinawans literally in their lifestyle have zero heart disease. And it comes down to lifestyle and our environment. So the other myth, you guys, is that high cholesterol causes heart disease. And that might sound like a little shocker to you guys, but it couldn't be further from the truth. So if you haven't read this book or seen this book before, The Great Cholesterol Myth, I encourage you to dive into this. It's going to be a huge eye-opener. So high cholesterol causes heart disease. Here's the truth. The truth is it's the oxidation of cholesterol that causes heart disease. The truth is more people have heart attacks with normal cholesterol than elevated. So the truth is there is a higher death rate with low cholesterol than high cholesterol. And the truth is statin drugs, those cholesterol drugs, one of the #1 drugs sold in this country, yes, while they do lower your cholesterol, but read the inserts. Listen to those commercials. They have not been proven to decrease the mortality of heart attacks or stroke. But why do people go on statin drugs, right? Because they have high cholesterol and they don't want to have a heart attack. But the drug company's own research proves that to be wrong, that it does not change your mortality outlook to heart disease or stroke. It does lower your cholesterol, but we'll talk about why that might be a problem to be messing around with that. So again, when we look at the dangers of any medication is a toxic chemical. And cholesterol medications, they are known to cause liver damage. That's why you have to check your liver function tests, regularly when you're on a statin drug, because they're watching for that. And then what happens? When your liver does show some damage or some symptoms that that drug is causing, then they pull you off of that. And then what's their answer? Try another drug, or we're not sure what to do next. The other side effect is neuropathy. So that is a problem with the nerve system. Severe joint pain and ligament and tendon ruptures, that's been reported. Muscle wasting and atrophy caused by the side effects of statin drugs. You guys, statin drugs even have a history of heart failure. And also, heart is our largest muscle in our body, and the cholesterol drugs are known to damage large muscle tissues. Cholesterol is a powerful antioxidant. It actually protects us against aging, and it protects us against cancer. It protects us against depression. It stops, and the other thing too is that cholesterol medications cause depression, okay? So they are known as a side effect for that. So the other side effect is that it stops the production of CoQ10. CoQ10 is the most important antioxidant that for our heart health. So if you know of somebody that's on a cholesterol medication, then they really want to look at getting on a good source of CoQ10, because again, those side effects of those drugs is why people get into the problems they do. And of course, talk to your physician about this, or seek out somebody that is a natural health care provider that can help you along this way. But just realizing that cholesterol medications are not the answer to your heart disease. They lower cholesterol, period, and really understanding that. So let's look at cholesterol. We have this myth that cholesterol is the bad guy, that cholesterol is the problem. Just drive down cholesterol and then you're not going to have a heart attack. But the truth of the matter is, you guys, cholesterol is a very, very, very important hormone. And it starts at the top of the chain of all of our hormones. It's so important for estrogen and progesterone. It's so important for testosterone. So if you have a cholesterol problem and your cholesterol is high, what your body is actually saying is you've got inflammation going on. Cholesterol is the symptom of our body, just like a fever. If we get a virus or a bacteria, our body naturally will raise a fever to help burn off or kill that virus or that bacteria in the situation. Cholesterol, as it's rising, it is a clear message from your body that you've got inflammation going on, and it could become causing a hormone imbalance for sure. But remember, just having a high cholesterol is not the problem. It's the oxidation of the cholesterol that causes the plaquing of the artery and gets us into problems. So we'll talk about what's causing the oxidation of cholesterol and why just by driving down cholesterol can actually increase your risk for a heart attack or heart disease if you don't get to the underlying cause of what's causing the oxidation of the cholesterol to cause the plaquing of the arteries. And again, you guys, I could go an entire hour and a half on just this topic, but I encourage you guys to just look more into that situation and knowing that cholesterol is not the bad guy. So what causes heart disease? It's inflammation, just like we talked about. And inflammation is at the core of every single disease process out there. It's inflammation that's causing a lot of this damage to the lining of the arteries, or our arteries to constrict, and us being more prone to blood clots and whatnot. It's inflammation that is the problem. And so again, how do we get control of inflammation? The top causes of inflammation are, and this is not all encompassing, but I can guarantee you if you've got high cholesterol or high inflammation going on in your body, you have a problem with one of these areas. So sugar, you guys, sugar is in everything, and sugar needs to be decreased. Even the American Heart Association recommends that as an average, women and men on average should have no more than 16 grams of sugar on a daily basis. So let's look at that. Like one can of soda, you've just taken care of about 9. And my numbers might be off a little bit, but just know the average American has in a day up to 120 grams of sugar in their diet. So that's already way surpassed the what's recommended. So start looking at your labels, become a label detective, get sugar out of your life, And that doesn't mean to turn to aspartame and all of those damaging toxic sugars. Those also are known to cause high amounts of inflammation. And there's a reason why those pink, yellow, blue packet types of sugars are banned in almost every other country besides the US. Just get sugar out of your life. Bad fats. Bad fats like canola oil, marjoram, our toxic meats that are, our cows are being fed corn and being shot up with antibiotics that 100 years ago, or even 60 years ago, or 50 years ago, our animals weren't being treated this way. And this is causing a problem. We are, there's a saying that you are what you eat, right? But if you are not a vegan or not a vegetarian, the reality is you are what you eats. Okay, it's their diet that's going to be causing a lot of the problems. So bad fats are things like I said, canola oil. There's no canola plant, FYI. Shocker there. There's no canola oil or no canola plant. It's a man-made toxic oil. And then look at all of our labels. Look at all of our labels. How many times do you see canola in all of our labels? It's everywhere. Where again, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, this did not exist. So adding things in your diet like olive oil, grapeseed oil, coconut oil, those types of things can be hugely beneficial for your diet. So start looking at the bad fats and getting those out of your diet. And then one of the biggest culprits, and as an oncology nurse, my history was bone marrow transplant as oncology for several years. Any oncologist will tell you that the 90 to 95% of all cancers are due to the bioaccumulation of toxic chemicals. And I once used to think that we got toxic chemicals if we worked in a power plant or, in an industrial environment, but it's not. You guys, we are getting these toxic chemicals from our self-care products, our personal care products. I used to be a wallflower junkie, a Yankee Candle junkie. If it smelled like vanilla, warm vanilla anything, I was all about it. And I started to have not only health problems for myself, but my son was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease at 3 years old. And he was also on the spectrum and having learning disabilities and all of these different things, and found out when we started looking for underlying cause that he was toxic. You guys, I didn't know what I didn't know. His diet was full of sugar. I was feeding him nothing but bad fats. And everything that I was putting on his body and in my home and my toxic cleaning products was filling up his tiny body at a very young age. He didn't have the ability to get rid of these toxins because of some genetic predispositions for him. So I triggered that genetic expression in him. But the cool thing is, you guys, once I started looking at these underlying causes, and he didn't have heart disease, but I mean, the reality is I didn't check his cholesterol. I don't know what was going on with his poor little arteries at the time, but I knew his body was expressing illness, and I knew inflammation was the underlying cause. Long story short, after a year of cleaning up our diet, getting good healthy fats in our diet, removing all the toxic chemicals from our home and in our lives, he lost those diagnoses. He's 14 now, doesn't have any issues. And you might think, well, what does this have to do with heart disease? It has everything to do with heart disease, because inflammation is the cause. And I believe inflammation is the cause to every single disease process out there. I would say 90% of them are due to that. So this is where we need to start paying attention to, because here's the underlying causes, okay? So if you have not read or heard of Dr. Jack Wolfson, I encourage you to start following him, sign up for his emails, get this book. It's called The Paleo Cardiologist. This information can absolutely change your life, and it can change somebody else's life. Diet and nutrition are so important. And just a side note, so if you follow me on Facebook, I just posted a little article on the keto diet. That's another big hype that's going on right now. And while I believe that there's a time and a place for that, I also believe that people are doing it very, very wrong. And it's kind of like that Atkins diet that we heard from years ago, that, Dr. Atkins died of a heart attack, because the keto diet is a high fat, high protein diet. And the problem is a lot of people are doing this very wrong, because they're doing nothing but salami and bad cheeses and toxic olives that are full of sodium and milk products that are and meat products that are filled with toxic chemicals, and those are causing inflammation. So will you lose weight on a keto diet? Yeah, absolutely. You're putting your body in a ketosis state, and sure, your body will burn fat that way. Absolutely. However, if you are doing it wrong by eating these bad things and you're not addressing toxic chemicals, it sounds very morbid, but really all you're doing is, in the end, buying a skinnier casket, a smaller casket, because it's not going to get you healthier if you're doing it the wrong way. So please make sure that you're doing these bad diets the correct way and the healthy way. Okay, I'll get off that soapbox. So let's talk about these solutions that we hear so much about, that everybody is just running out and buying at the gas stations and the dollar store and wherever they can find these things. But I'm here to teach you a little bit about why it's so important that you understand what's going on. And while these can be amazing, amazing for our health, you have to understand that it's a big hype right now. And there's a lot of garbage on the market. And so I'm here to shed some light on that. And just know that we only have, a short period of time, another half an hour to fly through this information. But just know that I'm a resource here for you. Follow me on Instagram, Natural Nurse Robin, on my Facebook page. If you're local, sign up for my newsletters. If you don't have those newsletters, just send me a little message through the chat and I'll get you on board with that. But it is just it's the tip of the iceberg of just giving you guys information to start looking into this for yourself. So I'm going to play a quick little video here, and let me turn my volume up to make sure you guys can all hear this, and we will go right from there.
American hemp must meet the needs of our Army and Navy as well as of our industries.
Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
I think, we've been terribly and systematically misled in this country for some time, and I did part of that misleading. I think it's irresponsible of the medical community not to offer this as an alternative.
Thank you, everybody. God bless you. I'm now going to sign this farm bill.
Okay, so if you guys have never seen that video before, I just thought it just shed a big light on what happened and why now we're seeing so much about this green rush, because that's what they're calling it now. So let's go through some of the misconceptions of what CBD is or isn't. So hemp, is it legal? I get that question a lot. It is legal. So the Farm Bill in 2014, it is legal on a federal level in all states. Hemp or CBD is not, it's not marijuana. So it won't get you high. So that when you're looking at these different species, you've got cannabis, right? So that's where all of the CBD and all of the THC comes from. So when you look at cannabis, it has a couple different species. You've got your hemp species, and then you've got your marijuana. The CBD that everybody is talking about right now and using, and you're seeing it everywhere, We are talking about that from hemp. So it does not have THC in it, or it has less than 0.3% THC. And again, because the Farm Bill, less than 0.03% THC, federal legal limit. Just know that there is still so much going on with the legalities from state to state, but federally now, we have it legal in all states, but each state has their own laws that they're working through. And if you want some advanced information on where your state is, just message me and I will get you kind of where everything is at, because that just came out this week and I can get you a really great article on that. But just know that what we're talking about tonight is legal and it's not going to get you high. So sorry to burst your bubble if you were thinking that CBD is going to get you high, but it's not going to do that. And we'll talk about why you don't really need that anyways. So what are cannabinoids? So cannabinoids are basically molecules, and there are over 113 different cannabinoids and diols. I'll probably do this a few times throughout this talk tonight, found in cannabis. So there's over 113 different cannabinoids found in those plants. And CBD, or cannabidiol, contains many therapeutic benefits, but just know that CBD is one component out of those 113. So there's many different cannabinoids with inside plant structures. THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, that is the component or the molecule that actually has the psychoactive. It gets you high, but that's not what CBD is, okay? Oops, let's go forward here. So the new science, and this is, I guess it's really not new science, but why everybody is getting so excited about this is because they're rediscovering and discovering this system called the endocannabinoid system. That means endo, that means it's created inside or made inside the body. And it's just another organ system, just like our nervous system, our skeletal system, our digestive system, respiratory. The endocannabinoid system is an amazing system that really allows our body to function and heal the way that it should. These endocannabinoid receptor sites that we have all over our body, we have them in every organ system. And this is where the new science is coming up, is it's just tipping the iceberg on all of this behind there, because really it's your central nervous system. It's your immune system. All of these receptor sites are in the brain and the uterus. There's all of these receptor sites going on now in what we know as the endocannabinoid system that is truly remarkable. And if you want to get well, then you need to get your endocannabinoid system well. That's truly going to allow your body to heal and function at 100%. So we have all of these different receptor sites. We'll get into a little bit about this. We have CB1 receptor sites that are in the brain, the spinal cord, and our peripheral organs. And then we also have CB2 receptor sites, and that's really in our immune system. It's found in our white blood cells, in our lymphatics. And the other thing too is when we look at this endocannabinoid system, it's a cellular system. It's a master regulator of all systems. It balances our hormones, our neurotransmitters. It regulates pain, inflammation, memory, our emotions, our sleep, our metabolic function. It becomes strained because of through physical stress. And remember, physical stress, yes, car accidents and all of that, exercise and all of that. But physical stress also meaning subluxation to the spine. Physical stress also meaning toxic chemicals into that nervous system. Physical stress also means the diet full of sugar and those bad fats. That's causing that stress as well. And of course, our mental stress and what we're doing on a daily basis surrounding that. So our receptor sites, these cannabinoids, receptor sites, endocannabinoid receptor sites, are activated by these molecules. So chocolate is one of them, meditation, that runner's high, breast milk, and again, phytocannabinoids or active diols also attach to these receptor sites and activate our endocannabinoid system. So please, I know people saw the chocolate on there, right? And they're like, what? She just said don't have sugar, but I can have my Hershey's bar. That's not the chocolate we're talking about. We're talking about a higher than 80% cacao, really high antioxidant, but they can have some benefits as well. Everything in moderation, right? So let me just play this video because this is going to explain a little bit more in depth, better than I can, about the endocannabinoid system.
So the endocannabinoid system is a real physiologic system that was discovered over 20 years ago. And if you do a PubMed search for the number of peer-reviewed scientific articles that have been published that describe the system, there's been an average of one article every other day for the last 20 years. Thousands of articles. This is a well-established understanding of both human and animal physiology.
Cannabinoids also in immune cells, there's cannabinoids in bone metabolism, which, there's lots of research, all kinds of systems, but the neurochemical, neuroscientific angle was the first big sort of understanding of what cannabinoids were doing.
When you're treating people with estrogen deficiencies, adrenal deficiencies, thyroid deficiencies, whatever, we all understand that one of the issues is when you take external or exogenous medication that we produce internally, it's like a thermostat. So we stop making it, which has consequences at times. And it's not that it's the end of the world, and mostly with endocrinology, you can handle that. But CBD, and there may be other molecules that do this, I just don't know of any, is actually causing the release and the balance of our own internal cannabinoids, which is remarkable.
The unifying theme, it seems like, is the holistic theme, the health of the whole animal. The endocannabinoid system really is a very integrative system of homeostasis that seems to act on just about every physiological system we know to promote the well-being of the whole organism.
The cannabinoids, including cannabidiol, are the ones that are most therapeutic for over 250 different conditions that have been, researched so far. But the fact that various plants are capable of activating this hardwired system within our body indicates that we probably co-evolved with these compounds over long periods of time. And so it's not an accident that cannabis just happens to activate these receptors and have value in up to 250 or more different conditions, according to the research. It just shows you that there's an intelligent design at play here, and that, it's really a sacred plant for a reason. It's hardwired into our very destiny, and probably is one of the most therapeutic things that any society has ever discovered.
And the endocannabinoids, turns out, are a really important key player throughout the nervous and immune and endocrine systems. They help to regulate hormone levels. They help to regulate neural systems working in sort of optimal ranges.
So isn't it incredible to know that there's this other system that we didn't know about before? And again, it's been researched and it's been proven, but for me even, and for my husband who is a chiropractor, this whole new concept of reawakening and helping our endocannabinoid system is just mind-blowing. And I can tell you, since we've really brought CBD into our office and we incorporate it with essential oils and different things that we've already been doing, we have seen such profound results that, yes, we've always seen great testimonials in our office before, but this piece of the puzzle has just been a huge, huge piece. And when we talk about cannabinoids, so remember we talked about, okay, our body, we know now that our body creates these things. So endocannabinoids, those are the molecules made by the human body. So endo meaning inside the body. Then you've got the phytocannabinoids. So those are the molecules that can attach to those receptor sites in our body, just like our own endocannabinoid system. The phytocannabinoids are coming from plants. Phyto meaning plant, meaning outside of our body. That's where CBD comes into play. That's where not only CBD, but you're going to see some other things of where these phytocannabinoids can be found from plant structure. So the other thing too is now we're seeing tons and tons and tons of synthetic cannabinoids being made by man because, again, it's a huge market out there, and there are synthetic cannabinoids being processed or being produced, and these, you guys, again, are not what you want. These are not the real deal. These are not going to give you the results you're looking for. And in fact, if you are not getting a clean source of your CBD and you don't know the company and how they're formulating this, and if they're making sure that it's third-party tested and there's no heavy metals inside this plant, then you could be causing more damage than just leaving the whole CBD alone in the first place. So again, I can't stress that enough. If you are taking a CBD, you want to really dive into that research of that company to know that it's a good, clean source. We carry a few different sources of CBD in our office. I can share with you if you want to know what source that I use. If you want to text me at the end of this call, I can share that with you. But just know there are several companies out there that are great. I believe that I found a couple different companies that do the formulation right and set themselves outside of the market. But again, I want you guys to do that research, and I'm here as a resource for you. But as we look forward here, again, where else can we find these phytocannabinoids that come from plants? Remember I was talking about how there's 113 different phytocannabinoids that they're finding. So other plants that contain phytocannabinoids that could have different outcomes, different responses to those receptor sites. Echinacea. So there's a couple different species of echinacea known to help with the phytocannabinoid. Also, helichrysum. Helichrysum is one of my favorite essential oils. It is so powerful. It's one of those that can be pretty pricey, but you better believe my home is not without helichrysum. And the other thing too is a lot of our herbs that they can contain these as well. Tea, beta-caryophyllene. So this BCP. Now, if you are an essential oil user, this is the one that we got so much attention when they found out that beta-caryophyllene was a phytocannabinoid giving similar results as the CBD because of the copaiba. So beta-caryophyllene in our copaiba oil is what got us very excited about using copaiba. And again, remember, there's 113 different phytocannabinoids, CBD being one, beta-caryophyllene being another. There's all of these different phytocannabinoids that can give a little bit different response to the body, and there's a time and a place for all of these. But it's not just CBD that does these things. While CBD is absolutely phenomenal, there's other ways to get phytocannabinoids in our life. So copaiba, love that oil. Clove essential oil, black pepper essential oil, rosemary, cinnamon bark, basil, oregano, lavender, and one of my all-time favorites, ylang ylang. And just like I talked to you guys about the purity of these products, please know there is such a market out there for essential oils and CBD that you need to, it is critical that you make sure that you're getting a good source, because that bottle can say pure, therapeutic grade, whatever, but they can really put whatever they want in that bottle and have toxic chemicals in there and you don't know. So you have to know the company you're getting it from, trust the company that you're getting them from, and do your own research. Because if you are going to be taking anything internally, putting it on topically, you better believe that it needs to be the purest, because if there's toxic chemicals in there, it is going to cause more harm than good, and you might as well just avoid that. And I promise you, you will not find high quality CBD and high quality essential oils at Meijer's, at Five Below, at the dollar store, at your local gas station. You guys, those are all those synthetic cannabinoids that are being created, putting a label on it and just making a buck. So really take your health very seriously and do your research on that. off my soapbox on that one. So what's the difference between the CBD and the beta-caryophyllene that we see in the copaiba and the clove and the black pepper essential oil? Well, the big difference is that beta-caryophyllene is a sesquiterpene. So we know that those have great benefits, but again, it's not going to give the same exact property that our other types of the CBD is going to give. Still, it attaches to the CB2 receptor sites. So look at all of these things here. We've got CB1 receptor sites found mostly in the nervous system and the brain. We've got CB2 receptor sites mostly found in the peripheral organs, especially our immune system. And again, we're talking about cardiovascular health and heart disease here. And just know that the heart carries CB1 and CB2 receptor sites. So your essential oils that we just talked about, a good clean CBD oil is going to benefit your cardiovascular health like you wouldn't believe, all while, of course, getting those underlying causes out. So we just talked about this. CB1 is mostly in our central nervous system, other tissues and organs. CB2 is our immune system, our peripheral nervous system, and other tissues and organs. And then you might start hearing these orphan cannabinoid receptor sites. There's so much research being done that all of these other receptor sites that we talk about CB1 and CB2, but new receptor sites, cannabinoid receptor sites, are popping up every single day. And they're just diving into the research to figure out, why do we have those receptor sites? What are those for? How do we, what can we use to help benefit those receptor sites? So it's such an exciting time for science and research with the whole cannabinoid receptors and the cannabinoid system that, any scientist is just really geeking out at this whole topic, and we could really just keep diving. And I just am super excited to see what in 10, 20 years, what we learn about this system. I just talked about the most important thing to, make sure that you have a good essential oil company in your life. For me personally, and in our office, we use Young Living essential oils. That is my preference. That's my choice. There are less than 4% of good, high quality essential oil companies out there. If you choose a different company, I totally respect that. But as long as you know this information and how to determine if you've got a good company or not, that's what I'm all about. Some of my favorite for the cardiovascular system is Stress Away. So Stress Away essential oil is a blend, and it helps to reduce stress because, again, essential oils, as you're putting them on your body, they are transdermals. No, not kinda. They are transdermal. And the minute that you put that on your body, within 26 seconds, it's in your bloodstream. Within 20 minutes, it's in every single organ of our body. And remember those receptor sites, CB1 and CB2? They attach to those receptor sites and bring tons of benefits to our body to be able to allow our body to do what it was created to do better. So Stress Away essential oil has copaiba in there, our number one with the beta-caryophyllene in there. It's got lime essential oil. Keeping our body at a pH balance is so important. When you are looking at your essential oils or your life and your body, we need to keep our pH balanced, more in an alkaline state. Because when you have disease processes and you have inflammation going on, you are in an acidic state. So anything we can do to bring our pH up is what we want to do. And lime essential oil can really help support that. Cedarwood essential oil, vanilla essential oil, ocotea, so fantastic for blood sugar support. Also for sugar cravings and all of that good stuff too. Lavender essential oil, and then also it has some coconut oil in there as well. All of these things benefiting. Now you can use this topically. You can put it in a diffuser. And again, when you're breathing in essential oils, that's directly impacting a system that we call the limbic system that controls our emotions, it controls our heart rate, it controls our blood pressure, and these can really help to support that area of our body. Stress Away, I wish it came in gallons. It doesn't, so I'll have to just deal with my 15 milliliter bottle, but I'm never without Stress Away. Another one of my favorite blends from Young Living is Aroma Life. This is the one that I'm never without as well. It's so awesome for cardiovascular health. Remember we talked about helichrysum and how that has phytocannabinoids in there. Also ylang ylang. And ylang ylang, if you are a Young Living member, as you know, ylang ylang is very, very difficult to get. You can't get it at all right now unless you are reaching that special 400 PV mark this month. You can get your free bottle of ylang ylang. I am just hoarding the ylang ylang I have left, but it's extremely calming. It also has a sense of relaxation to it. It is, a natural aphrodisiac, you guys. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Put your ylang ylang on. And again, it's rich in phytocannabinoids. Marjoram, awesome for muscle and nervous tension. Cypress is another one. So this Aroma Life, if you don't have this in your life, you'll want to get Aroma Life for sure. It's an awesome blend. One of the most popular antioxidant or supplement supports is we're talking about decreasing inflammation, decreasing oxidative stress. We want to bring CBD and essential oils in our lives. And the other, if I were to choose one supplement to take for the rest of my life, it would be Ningxia Red. Ningxia Red is our high antioxidant drink. It is our superfood. So it has, again, when we're talking about decreasing oxidative stress, because remember, it's the oxidation of the cholesterol that causes the plaquing of the arteries. So we need antioxidants to help with the oxidative stress, right? So we need more antioxidants from our essential oils, from our CBD, and Ningxia Red is the highest level of antioxidants. 2 ounces of Ningxia Red on a daily basis is going to give you the antioxidant level of eating or juicing 20 pounds of spinach. So I call it the lazy man's juice. It tastes amazing. It looks like wine. It's not wine. While there is benefits to having some red wine, because of the antioxidants in there, it's not wine. It does have things in there like the blueberry, the aronia, cherry, pomegranate seed extract, plum. It is sweetened with a little bit of stevia, no artificial sweeteners in there. It's got grapeseed extract. It's got yummy vanilla essential oil in there. It also has orange, yuzu, lemon, and tangerine. Another thing that made me choose Young Living out of all the essential oil products out there is because Young Living is the only company that has a dietary supplement line. It does have a GRAS rating, meaning it's safe for consumption, and it does have a non-GMO stamp of approval to be able to take these products internally, and they are the cleanest that I've found on the market. So your Ningxia Red contains 18 amino acids, 21 trace minerals, 6 essential fatty acids, and all of your B vitamins plus vitamin E. So again, if I were to choose one supplement, I'd be taking 2 ounces of Ningxia Red every single day for heart health, for eye health, for every type of full body support. This is my number one go-to. My kids take an ounce every single day, and they have been for years. So when we look at the antioxidant levels, it's in the family of the goji berry. We've heard of goji berry, right? So Ningxia Red has that really high antioxidant level, and it's been tested by laboratories, third-party labs, to show that it has a higher level of antioxidants than any other superfood out there. So while I'll still do my greens and I do all of that as well, I'm not saying don't do any of that. I just know that this is going to give me a faster result because it has essential oils in there. So remember, anytime we are using a supplement or a CBD oil that has essential oils in it, it's going to allow those essential oils to get in, or those products, nutrients, to get in the cells even more effectively at a cellular level, and it's going to just help drive oxygen. So when I'm looking at CBD, I want to make sure that my CBD oil has a good healthy fat with it, like your MCT oil or some type of a healthy fat in there, and also essential oils formulated in it. When I see a company that is formulating their CBD with essential oils in it, I know they understand the science, and I know they understand the importance of adding different things to their CBD to make it work. It's not about the milligrams, you guys. It's not about, oh, wow, this company has 1,500 milligrams. more is better. It's not. It's about the delivery system of getting these nutrients inside the cells that makes the big difference. So I want to share with you this other video as well. You can see here on the screen that 2 ounces, so the one screen that you're looking at, the one picture, if you've ever had your red blood cells looked at underneath a microscope, what we don't want is to have our cells all stuck together and have all that stickiness, right? We want it to be nice and fluid-like. So this was a picture of somebody that had, they tested their red blood cells, and in a matter of 10 minutes, they took Ningxia Red, 2 ounces. In a matter of 10 minutes, they redrew their blood and looked under the microscope and had a profound difference. And that, for me, is all that I need to see. I'm a nurse, so a lot of times I need to see that proof. I need to see labs. I need to see before and after things to know that I'm getting a good result. We do all kinds of thermography testing in our office. We do different types of biomeridian testing, and we can see before and after. So we know that these things are actually showing results. So I'm going to show you this real quick here because it's kind of fun to see in a video for some of you visual.
This is a blood sample of somebody before taking Ningxia, and this is actually a great example of an unhealthy cell. See how it's stacked like coins? What this means is the cells are right on top of each other. There's very little surface area to them. A lot of it's crowded, which means can't get a whole lot of oxygen in there, which means can't really detox itself. Can't breathe, can't take in nutrients, can't detox. Oxygen is what we really need to emit what we don't need, take in what we do need. So this person was given 1 ounce of Ningxia Red. 15 minutes later, this is what their blood looked like. Isn't that awesome?
So 15
that's a
minutes.
healthy state in the body. So how many of you guys drank your Ningxia Red packet when you walked in? So this is what your blood looks like probably, right? How nice is that? The proof's in the pudding, right? The stuff works.
So that's the other thing. Sorry, guys, that we're showing up to my office tonight. I had Ningxia Red and wolfberries all ready for you guys to snack on. And so if you are a patient in the office, just let Stacy know and we'll get you some of those free samples the next time you come into the office. So as we wrap up here, you know, we talked about cardiovascular because February is Heart Health Month. And it really comes down to, you guys, we are born with this innate intelligence in our body, and our bodies were created to heal at 100% all of the time. That's why, that's how our bodies were created. But it comes down to giving the body what it needs, taking away what it doesn't need, and you can have a homeostasis. You can have your body in balance. The heart is so important. We know that the heart is so important for our system that we need to start really taking care of it on a daily basis. So I know I shared a lot of information. You got a fire hose of information given to you guys tonight. I have handouts from my class that I was giving all of you guys. If you just send me a chat message with your email and you send me that information, I will send you this recording. I will also send you the handouts that I have for this as well. And if you aren't a local patient in my office, I'll send you some samples of the Ningxia drink as well. And if you're interested in any of those oils we talked about, I can send you samples of those as well. Your CBD oil, I'm not going to be sending samples of CBD through the mail. But just know if you're interested in CBD, just text me. I think I put a slide in here on my number that you can text. So if you got a text from me tonight regarding this class, go ahead and reply to that text message as well, or just type in the chat. And again, if you want more information on how to purchase these products, or if you know, the type of the CBD that I use in our office, just text the word oils to 815-310-6457, and I will send you the links to where you can go ahead and purchase these on your own. If you are a patient in my office, you know where you can find them. And again, I thank you guys so much for showing up tonight. Stay in touch. We do classes all of the time, at least a couple times a month. And I'm super excited that I was able to throw this together last minute because of the weather and share this with you guys on a Zoom call. You can learn more about me and my background at naturalnurserobin.com. follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, and I'm going to stop the recording now. I'm going to say goodnight. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to hang out here for just a couple minutes and answer any questions. But for everybody else, thank you so much, and I will see you at the next class.